Well, hello, this is Kelly and I'm the Mathematic Plumber, and welcome to video 3 of the Basic Drainage, Waste, and Venting series. In today's video, we're going to focus on sizing a basic drainage system and look at a bunch of code requirements around that. All code references will be made from the 2015 National Plumbing Code of Canada. Now, if you haven't watched the first two videos in this series, this might not make much sense, so you better go and watch those first. Now, before we get started today, I need to note that the sizing method that we're going to use today is a very basic introduction. To properly size drainage, we need to go into a whole bunch of different plumbing code tables, which we're just not going to cover today. That'll be for a future video. This video is intended to help you identify and do some basic sizing on a small house like the one we have shown. Now, the example we're going through today has two bathroom groups upstairs. We have a kitchen sink on the far right, upstairs as well, and if we look downstairs we have a clothes washer right here, which is actually called a laundry standpipe. And this right here hidden behind everything is a floor drain. Well, let's start with this pipe on the bottom left side of the page here. That actually comes from the city sewer connection all the way up to within 1 meter of the building wall. That is called the building sewer. And according to clause 2494, it is to be 4 inches in size minimum. The minimum grade or slope permitted on a 4-inch pipe is 1/8 of an inch per foot, or 1 in 100 as our code states it. We have not covered grades yet, that will be coming up in a future video. As soon as the building sewer passes that 1 meter mark, it will become the building drain until it meets up with the main solar waste stack, which is right here. The minimum size of a building drain is 3 inches in size. That comes out of table 24106C. That table will be covered in a future video. Now, you might have noticed two devices that are installed in the left-hand side of the building drain. The first one is the main cleanout. According to clause 24716, this main cleanout needs to be as close as practical as to where the building drain leaves the building. That is the case here. Now, this same clause also references clause 24722, which states that the minimum size of this cleanout needs to be 4 inches. The next device we come across is the normally open back water valve, and that is discussed in a different video. But because it is in the building drain, it does need to be normally open, meaning the little check valve flap that's in there needs to be in the open position when it's not in use. Now, we've already discussed the minimum grade for a 4-inch pipe, but the minimum grade for a 3-inch pipe is a little bit different. Clause 2481 suggests anything that is 3 inches or smaller needs to have a minimum grade of 1 in 50, which is approximately 1/4 inch per foot. The next pipe that we come across is the main solar waste stack. Now, the minimum size of this will be 3 inches, and it will be that for two reasons. First of all, it's the main stack, so it needs to be minimum 3 inches. The second reason is it has two water closets draining into it, but we're going to circle back to that in a moment. You'll notice at the base of this solar waste stack is a cleanout. Now, according to clause 24717, the base of every solar waste stack needs a cleanout, so there it is. The main solar waste stack starts down here and travels all the way up until we get to where these two lav sinks join in. Above that, where the pipe goes red, is called a stack vent. The minimum size of that stack vent is going to be 3 inches, but that comes from a code clause, 25845. Sanitary building drains shall be provided with at least one vent that is not less than 3 inches in size. So that plays into why that main solar waste stack needs to be 3 inch. That's because it's going to go up and tie into a 3-inch stack vent. And we would not want to see that solar waste stack get reduced in size and then have a larger vent coming off the top. That is against code. Clause 2491 speaks to this. A solar waste pipe shall be of a size not less than the size of a vent pipe that is connected to it, or the largest solar waste pipe that drains into it. Right now, let's look at all these different fixtures and find out what size of drain is coming out of them. In order to identify the size of drain that will come out of each different type of fixture, we need to reference table 2493. We're going to go through a bunch of these, but not all of them. On table 2493, we're going to notice 3 columns. On the left-hand side, we have fixture. So let's go down to bathtub with or without shower. The middle column is minimum size of fixture outlet pipe in inches. That would be 1.5 inches. And on the rightmost column, we have hydraulic load in fixture units. That is 1.5. The fixture unit is a design factor for drainage. We are not going to be using it today, but we're going to give it the honorable mention for each fixture we talk about because it will be important in the following videos. It is also important to note that there is a separate table for waterline sizing which also has fixture units. They are totally different than drainage, so never mix the two up, otherwise your numbers are going to be way off. So continuing on with the bathtub with or without shower, we do have two of those in the house. That means that the piping from the trap and then through the trap arm here until it connects up to the soil away stack is to be 1.5 inch minimum. I'd like to make a clarification here. In the field, it's very common to have a 2-inch trap and trap arm serving a bathtub. We are allowed to do that. In the classroom setting, I'm always going to ask you to use the minimum size possible by code though, so we would call this 1.5 inch on a test. Another two fixtures that we're going to see connecting into our soil away stack is the lavatory sink. That is a fancy term for a bathroom sink. So we go to lavatory, C, domestic type single. If we go across to the right, minimum size of fixture outlet pipe is 1.25 inches. And hydraulic load is 1 with a 1.25 inch trap. And this is another weird area that I need to talk about. Yes, in the classroom we would say that's one fixture unit and we would have a 1.25 inch trap arm. That's what we're actually going to answer on this. In the field though, getting 1.25 inch drain pipe is very difficult and very expensive. So for the most part we just use 1.5 inch for lavs. So the last thing we come across in our soil away stack is a water closet or a toilet. And it does have a flush tank. So the minimum size of fixture outlet pipe is 3 inches and the hydraulic load is 4 fixture units. So that makes this trap arm from the water closet all the way over to the soil away stack 3 inches in size minimum. So in order to keep this video a reasonable length, I'm going to say, hey, we're at the end of this video. But stay tuned for the next part where we go through the rest of this house and go through all the different sizing and code clauses that we want to cover. Until that point, you have yourself a wonderful day.